Good morning, everyone, and how are you? Good afternoon and evening for those all around the world. Today is the Walking Dead land sale with 4 weeks. This is the first of 4 weeks of apocalyptic mayhem. It's starting up in just under 2 hours, and today will be a first come, first serve sale event featuring premium assets from The Walking Dead in the wave one section. You can see in the lower left, if we look at this here right on the screen, you can see wave one has popped here. If you're over at the website at sandbox.game, you'll be able to click on map. It's going to take you just into the wave one section where we are going to be featuring this land sale here today. Forgive me, folks. It is my vacation week, but I'm here for you for this special event. Hello, Andy Ritchie. Hello, everyone over on YouTube. Lots of folks coming in from YouTube. Brandon Baum says, though, what? This is the Walking Dead land sale wave number one. In this particular land sale, you'll have an opportunity to pick up unique assets, potentially estates in Dutch auctions, or a one by one land or one by one premium land, including the Walking Dead assets available today. Today's one by one lands will be 530 one by one lands available today. Like, once again, if you open up the map at sandbox.game, you click on map over here, you'll be able to see the available lands. You'll be able to see the Walking Dead featured space for today's event. Down here, they're featuring a 3x3 today, but it is not the only featured space. As we go from wave to wave, you'll see more of these The Walking Dead spaces out there. So we'll have some featured content from the Skybound Studios IP today. You'll see them inside these bundles, including some reworked assets. We've got Dale's RV from The Walking Dead. You can see this. It's a very nice little Winnebago. All right. We've got Officer Rick Grimes asset. It will be available for those who pick up the premium lands as well. You've got Survivor 1. Nice little more generic NPC from their universe. Kind of a background character. Rick's Hatchet. And this is a usable equipment item that you can again use inside your games, or you can use them as an art asset, any one of these. You'll also be able to get, let's see if I can go back here, the Walker 1 asset. And this asset will be reworked. So this is going to take just a little bit for me to be able to confirm this for you, but I want you to know that that is included in your bundle. So yes, Scooge says RV is sick. Happy belated anniversary, Danny says. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hello, Cody. Hello in the chat there. So throughout this particular live stream, my goal will be to help increase your chances of getting a land today. We'll follow some simple steps that I've covered in each one of these live streams. And for those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome. We will go over step one being have enough sand, and I'm going to go over these really briefly right now, but we'll hit these about every 15 minutes as we go. Step number two, have some ETH in your wallet. Step number three, make sure that you are logged into the website at sandbox.game. Step four, making sure your wallet application is also logged in. And then step five would be to potentially restart your modem router and or clear out your cached or temporary data in your web browser, because you will want to have the best possible chance of seeing relevant information. And it tends to be that a modem router or a web browser could save temporary data and think, I already know what's supposed to be here, because the job of a browser or the job of a modem router is to serve you internet as fast as possible. So that's one of the major pitfalls that you could run into, is that you might see this as gray, but when you click on it, it'll, instead of saying purchase down here in the bottom right, it will have a little loading wheel and you end up where somebody else might get it. So hello, Voxel Bunny. Nice to see you in the chat here today. Purple Lioness over on YouTube as well. Nice to see everyone. A lot of familiar names, familiar avatars, faces, what have you. So we got about an hour, 33 minutes left for this sale. Let's go over the fine details here. The premium lands that are available here today, which is on this map, all the little yellow squares that you see here, these are 1x1 lands. These are the same 1x1 lands that you might get from the non-premium group, except that the premiums include the assets that I mentioned just a little bit ago. So those premium spaces, there's just 120 of them today. Expecting, with The Walking Dead being the kind of brand that it is, these may sell out very quickly. So if you're interested in getting The Walking Dead assets, then the premium lands will be wrapped around the primary 3x3 The Walking Dead estate. All right, we will also be featuring a Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 4 as we go week over week here. Starting once again, just 7 days from now, you'll see Wave 2, and then Wave 3, and then Wave 4 as well. Alien asks, when does the game come out? Well, the unique thing about the Sandbox, if you aren't familiar, is that there are many games. In fact, we've seen developers creating games over the course of the last year with the Sandbox Game Maker. So you can play many of those games right now inside the gallery function of that game maker. And then when the Metaverse goes live, they'll be able to push those into the Metaverse. So people who just have the game client will be able to play it at that point. But there are a lot of different updates that are going to come out. I just got out of a meeting about that on Tuesday. So you'll see more details about those updates very soon. So once again, while we are doing this live stream here today, I want to highlight that each person who is interested in asking a question about the Sandbox, whether it is a question like the one I just answered there, or something completely different. Maybe it's about Voxel, which is our asset creation software. Maybe it's about the Sandbox Game Maker, or again, about the Metaverse, maybe about this map, some pro tips, anything that you're interested in. Llewellyn. Okay, very good. Thank you. I've mispronounced the name. But you've got an opportunity to ask that throughout this next coming hour and 30 minutes. I will probably go about another 30 minutes after if I continue to get questions about the Sandbox after everything goes live. And then once again, about every 15 minutes, I will go through those 5 steps and I will be fleshing them out a little bit for you. So we've got any kinds of questions that you might have about the Sandbox before this sale today, feel free to ask them and I will get those answers out to you. All right, so during this series of sales, once again, there are some important things that we want to talk about. Of course, having enough sand, we talked about this just a second ago, the number of lands, the number of premium lands that are available. If you are getting a standard 1x1 land without the Walking Dead premium assets included, that will be 1,011 sand tokens today. So this price will always be the same whenever you purchase a land between now and all of our land sales that we will ever do. Whether it is this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, or a different sale entirely, if you have the 1,011 sand, you've got enough to get the 1x1 land. The price that includes the additional premium assets may vary from sale to sale depending on the number of additional premium assets that are included. So in this particular sale, we've got 4,683 sand tokens. But once again, I would highlight that if, as this is kind of a smaller wave, if you do not get the land that you were looking for today in this first come, first serve auction, or excuse me, sale, then keep in mind that you can hold on to your sand and next week it'll still be the same price. So you won't have to worry about that. Another tip, the second important tip, is to know that you will need to have a certain amount of Ethereum on the same wallet that you have the sand so that you can process your transaction today. So right now, as it stands, the transaction fee should be roughly the same as this Uniswap swap rate. And I find this information over on etherscan.io. If you go over there, you can click the median gas price number over here. And it takes you to the gas tracker tool. And this will update about every 10 seconds. Once again, this will update a lot as we go over the next hour, hour and a half. As we get closer to the sale, I'll keep highlighting this, keep talking about this. But you can see right now, it bounces around right now between 50 and 60, 70, somewhere in that ballpark. But the complexity of our smart contract is about the same as a Uniswap swap, which means that when you approve a transaction, if you approve a low speed transaction, it'd be $38.50 for this particular sale. That's as it is now. And again, this can go up and down. So just keep that in mind. But that would take about 10 minutes for a transaction to process. And for today's sale, if you are processing a transaction, uh, right away when you click on this land, let's say you want to buy that land right there, number negative 192, negative 136, there will be a button that pops up in the bottom right, and it's going to say 1011 sand. If you click to buy that, you'll pay the sand plus the on-chain gas fee. So as it stands now, that would mean that you're booked, right? But if for any reason you wanted to book another land, you'll have up to an hour to verify that first transaction on the blockchain. If it doesn't get verified before the end of that hour, then your booking will unlock. Maybe you chose too many lands, right? You got too excited, you didn't have enough sand for it, or you didn't have enough ETH on your account to do all the transactions you wanted to do. Those could be some of the situations where your booking would unlock after the hour. So if that is the case, then just keep that in mind, that you wouldn't want to do a low speed transaction, because if a low speed transaction doesn't verify within the hour, someone else will have an opportunity to come in, pick it up with a high speed transaction or an average speed transaction, and just get it right there, right? So typically for these sales, I recommend that folks go somewhere between the average and the high number in order to be sure that you're going to get it within the hour. If you're looking for just the one land, that should be just fine. And once again, when you book it, if you click on this land, you click the buy with sand. You don't necessarily have to verify that transaction immediately. You could attempt to click on another land, click buy, and that just makes sure that for the interest of fairness to everyone else, you're sure that you have enough sand to process those multiple transactions, and you're sure that you have enough ETH. Voxel Bunny has mentioned something that's very important. I'm getting this question a lot lately. The Medium article mentions that the Qit system will not be effective during these sales, which means that this is a first come, first served sale. So the Qit system normally, as we are developing this, and I was in a meeting about this, I think it was on Friday last, just checking in on the Qit system and the last couple of tweaks and changes and updates we're making to it. And it's been working fairly well, but again, we want to make sure that it works perfectly before we roll it out. So the Qit system will, when it's ready, and it won't be effective for this sale, it will allow you to essentially just get in line. And at this point, you would be on a lobby that would look a little different than this. And then you can queue yourself up for that sale. And it will kind of, once the timer hits 0, it would shake everybody up in a sort of like a lottery style system. And then it would say, now it's your turn. And when it becomes your turn, right? And each person would have an opportunity to buy one and then get back in the queue line. But again, that's not ready for this sale. That's coming up soon. So let's see. Geekis says, do you think it would be possible to add a function which would allow people renting the vending machine, roulette, dice game, etc. on land, and people who rented could take the profit from each machine? So as it is right now, that is not going to be possible. But that is because all of the NFTs that you have are wrapped inside of the land NFT, right? So if you would like, you can charge people access to get into your space in any number of ways. But once they are inside the space, the experience that they have there, that's already been paid for, right? So there's not going to be a way for that right now. But in the future, that's something that we are exploring, because we are getting a lot of questions about similar things, right? Similar like gambling style mechanics, potentially. You saw in our last game jam, not this one, but the one before, we saw a kind of like a horse racing game, but it was with camels in this particular case. And they played around with that mechanic in the game, but it didn't have a real tangible value. You didn't necessarily win sand. However, you potentially could, but that's going to be a ways off on the roadmap. So as it is though, it would again still just be the one experience if that is going to be possible. It wouldn't be one machine in the experience. It would be the whole of the experience. All right, so let's go into this here. Once again, if you have already checked the amount of Ethereum you have on your account and you're sure that you're satisfied with the amount that's there, maybe you can do a transaction or 5, whatever your goals are today. Make sure you have enough ETH on there. It's got to be on the same account that your sand is on. All right. Get coders. Enjoy. Oh. Hello, Dhaka Falls. How are you doing? I see you. Enjoy the info, gamers. All right. So if you have the ETH, if you have the sand on your account, then you'll want to make sure that you're actually logged in to those accounts. The first account you'll want to check is the sandbox.game account. If you have cleared your temporary data, your temporary information inside your web browser to optimize your speed today, then you'll definitely want to click the Me section in the bottom left if you weren't already asked to sign in the top right. So there can be a case where you've been logged in for too long, potentially. Maybe you've been signed in for the last 30 days, 60 days, something like that. Your web browser has signed you out based on how long your cookie is saved. So if you click on the Me and it takes you to this page, everything is good. You're good to go. You don't even have to worry about it. You're already signed into that account. The next thing you should check is the wallet application that you use. So if you're signed into your account, you can go back to the map page. You know that you're going to stay signed in for the sale. You're good to go there. So you'll open up either your Bitsky wallet, if that's the service that you used, or if you signed in with Social today, you'll want to open up your Venly wallet. Make sure you are signed in with that, or sign in with your Web3 wallet, which may be MetaMask, or in my particular case, I use the Brave browser, which has MetaMask built in. And if I click on a wallet here, I'm going to leave this one signed out because I want to continue to show you the things that could go wrong. But right here, it says, welcome back. That means I haven't signed in with my password. And if I tried to do a transaction when I wasn't signed in with my password, then the transaction would have nowhere to go. If that was the case, then my booking would only stay up for maybe like 30 seconds. And because I never verified, or the transaction never got sent to a wallet, the booking would automatically unlock. So you want to make sure that you're signed into your wallet today as well, because while you may be able to see a balance in the top right, you may not necessarily be signed in to that wallet. King Salty Peanut says, do you smell what the rock is cooking? I can only do the eyebrow with the one side, but I can appreciate that comment. Are we doing giveaways today? No, we won't be doing giveaways, Voxel Bunny. I'd like to, but Wizzy is all in Alex's account. So I don't want to necessarily do that there. FAI says, is there gas war? There is not a high gas rate per se today. We've seen in some sales in the past where the gas rate has been as high as a couple hundred. So it's looking pretty good at 57 right now. I've participated in a few of the sales at that rate myself. Pretty good rate for what it is. I'm liking seeing that it's relatively, it's kind of going in between that 50, that 75 range since we've started up this stream here. Once again, we'll keep track of that as we go. But all transactions will occur on the Ethereum mainnet at this time. We are working with Polygon to bring layer 2 integration, but that is not quite ready to roll out yet. So as it stands right now, we are going to be running this on the Ethereum mainnet as we have for all of our sales before. Works very nice. You should go wake Alex up, Voxel Bunny. Don't do it. Don't do it. What is it? It's 7:41 Alex's local time in the morning. That's pretty early for Alex. I say that, and it's 4:41 for me. Jan, look at that. Look at that. I started thinking about it, right? Start thinking about it and you get real sleepy. Omarino, we have explored many different options, and Polygon is a great option for us. I think that you'll find that the Polygon Matic network is highly reputable. A lot of people love them. And one of the most compelling things about their network is that it is significantly more ecologically sound than the ETH mainnet, and that is something that we strive to reach, is a very low to negative impact on ecology. So that is a huge reason why we love seeing Polygon there. Elira says, do I need to verify the transaction to book the land? So you do not need to verify to do the booking portion. What that is that is our server side reservation for you, but that is not a guarantee that you get the land. So there have been some situations in the past where, let's say you and I are both clicking on this same land at -191, -136, right? If we both click it in the same second, the server may not be able to recognize that we're both clicked on it. We'll both have the chance to click book. And if we both click book at the same second, then the server won't be able to sync between my US West Coast and you wherever you are in the world in time, because that's just a number of milliseconds, right? And they are very high demand sales. So what could happen potentially is that we both end up looking like we booked it. And the only one that will be real will be the first one that approves on the Ethereum blockchain. So that's why I recommend to some folks that you run that above average transaction speed. You don't necessarily have to go crazy and go like 500 Gwei or something like that, right? You can get it in a reasonable way. But to say, I have seen that. So if you want some more reasonable assurance and the extra gas isn't that big of a deal for you, then I might recommend to do that, to go a little bit above the average. The fundamental data about the game is not stored on chain. The fundamental data about the game can be stored inside of your ERC 721 on your NFT, that being this land. But in terms of where the data is read, that data is read through, at this time, a centralized platform through the Sandbox here on our website, directly in the dashboard. So if I was to create an asset that I upload into the marketplace, I upload it from VoxEdit into the marketplace, and then the game maker reads it from the marketplace and downloads it that way. We will be continuing to strive towards more decentralized options once all of the infrastructure basics are completely finished. But we are currently in version 0.6.5. So we are not yet to that 1.0 status where we can start to worry more about those. Right now, it's more about features, functions, requests from the community, that sort of thing. So we want to make sure that Elira, it is necessary to pre-register, but not necessary. And by that, I mean, you'll need to have had an account before now in order to do this sale today. But if you don't have an account now, then you can sign up for an account during the week if new registration is restricted at this time. Typically for one of these sales, we restrict new registration just because we want to make sure that there's as much server capacity going towards these very high demand sales as possible. Yes, that is true. Marino, right now, yes. The NFTs are the only part of the game that are on chain, and that's with intent for performance reasons. We want to make sure that this game is not only accessible on your desktop, but it's also going to be, as we get into development, we want to be mobile ready as well. And if everything happened on chain, then mobile users who might be on the go might have a very hard time playing the game because everything that they do would have to verify. That said, you will be getting, excuse me, in our play to earn ecosystem, you will be earning ethos points. And ethos points are like a type of experience that represents, it gets you through kind of a season pass system that we have. And when you redeem the NFTs in that season pass and the sand tokens in that season pass, those ethos points are going to, that when you redeem them, you're getting an on-chain transaction, but getting the ethos points is an off-chain transaction. So we've got a good synergy of ways to help keep strong, good optimization in mind, while at the same time getting real, tangible on-chain rewards as well. Great questions, though. Great questions today. I really appreciate you guys. Let's see. Here's a hypothetical question. That's what it says here from over on YouTube. It says, how long could it take to reach 1 million monthly users? Your opinion? Well, I think that depends on Like what you're seeing from companies like Axie, you're seeing people get these real tangible, uh, obviously you can make money, right? You're seeing countries like the Philippines go wild because they have a real source of income, an incentive to play, right? And so there's many different kinds of incentives that people can have, and we've seen and taken surveys and had many discussions about this before. But some people collect to collect, right? They want the arts, they want the assets. Some people collect to be part of a community. Some people collect for the financial incentives. Some people will be designing for all of those reasons as well in the sandbox. And you've already seen this. Many communities have popped up from within over the last year or so that we've seen people start to develop in anticipation of the metaverse coming. So the 1 million monthly users, I think that that depends on how quickly the different systems roll out. If we roll out, let's say version 1.0, and we say if it's available with mobile at that time, then I think 1 million monthly users will happen in a week, personally. But if we are only rolling out 1 million monthly users based on the data we already have, we should have, if I was to project, the last time I knew of a number, we were at like 288,000 registered users. And we're only in version 0.6.5. So it's very possible that that could be happening almost immediately. But before I move on with more questions here, and feel free again to just keep asking them, I'm going to keep addressing them. I'm going to go over once again with the 5 steps that you'll need to increase your chances of getting a land here today. Once again, we are doing a The Walking Dead land sale. This is wave number 1 with 530 1x1 land parcels, 120 premium lands that include The Walking Dead premium NFTs. We've got 2 estates that will be available in the small size in Dutch auction. We've got 3 medium estates available at Dutch auction and 1 large estate that will be available at Dutch auction. The first step that you will need to know is to have enough sand to be able to make the purchase that you're interested in doing today. So 1011 sand will cover you for a single 1x1 land. If you'd like more than one 1x1 land, then of course you'll want to have that multiplicatively. The premium lands, 4,683 sand in today's sale. These will be a first come, first serve sale. So once again, these steps are super important to already have it covered there. And I'm going to answer this question before I get on to step number 2. FAI says, when will the game go live? So FAI, you can currently play many games that are being developed by independent development studios right now. If you download the Sandbox Game Maker, you can open up the gallery and you'll see multiple different contest entrants. You'll see people play testing their products that they are designing, so you can see what the Sandbox Game Maker can do. And if you love what you're seeing and you'd like to start building your land, developing your experience, of course, you'll already have the tool downloaded. So you can use assets that are inside the marketplace available for free. If for any reason those assets are later sold as NFTs from the original artist, you may need to either replace that asset or you could purchase that NFT from the original artist. Up to you. It's a very easy process to swap in, swap out NFTs. If it is the case where maybe you had a creature and you want to replace it with another one, that's super easy and fun to do. And we cover those things each and every Wednesday and Saturday here on live streams just like this one. Also on Monday, we teach you how to make the assets. If you're interested in asset creation with the Vox Edit tool, you can download that here as well. In terms of the game client, that announcement has not yet been made, but look out for that in the near future. Step number 2, have some ETH in your wallet if you do have the amount of sand that you believe you will want to have in order to pick up all the lands that you want here today, or maybe those premium assets from The Walking Dead, then you'll need a bit of ETH in your wallet. As it is right now, in this moment, if you wanted to process an average speed transaction, it would be about $30.33. But we will revisit this over and over and over as this land sale gets close, because this number will go up and this number will go down minute to minute. And you can see that updating live as we're talking right here. All right, let's see. One more question here. Multiplicatively, that's a big word for 4 a.m. I appreciate you, Purple Lioness. It is much later than 4 a.m. where you are, right? What is it, noon? It's noon for you. Last tech question says, if I have unlimited amounts of ETH and the 1011 sand in my wallet, oh, I'm sorry, 1012 sand in my wallet and the land costs 1011, will I make it? Or are there any additional sand fees included? There are not additional sand fees whatsoever. That's why I'm highlighting them just in this way in particular. The sand is flat rate. There's no percentage increases, decreases, no taxes, no any of that stuff. It's just 1011 sand. The on-chain fees is the reason why we address ETH. So if you have unlimited ETH and you have 1011 sand, you're good to go. Roskuru says, I suggest having 1012 sand in the account at least, but you really don't need it. It's just a fun joke. All right, and then step number 3. Of course, you're going to want to make sure that you are logged into the website at sandbox.game. You can do this simply by clicking the Me button in the bottom left of the screen. If you click on this and you see your avatar attempting to load, you've got your logo, you've got this. If it doesn't ask you to log back in, you're good to go for this sale. But we look at this just in case you haven't been logged in. Maybe you stayed logged in for the last 30 days, the last 90 days, something like that, and your cookie has expired, or you recently cleared your temporary or cache data. You'll want to make sure that you are logged in. That's a very important step, because if you are not logged in when the land sale goes live, if you were just looking at this page and you were ready to click, when you go to click, it's going to ask you to log in. And then it would probably be too late, because some of these sales have sold out in a second. Some of them have sold out in 3 seconds. The longest, most recent one I've seen was a number of minutes, right? Sometimes a premium land might be laying around after the sale. That's possible, but unlikely, I think, with The Walking Dead's high priority. I think a lot of people love this brand. They're going to be very invested in picking up these NFTs here today. Hello, Jared. How are you doing over there on Twitter/Periscope? I'm not sure if the Periscope app's still there. I know they mentioned something about taking that down. Step number 4, make sure your wallet is logged in. You want to make sure that your wallet is logged in, because if you're logged in, down here, you might be able to see your sand balance in the top right. If you're logged in and you click on this land right here, and you try to process a transaction by clicking the bottom right button that would come up later. If you were clicking that button and there's no wallet for that transaction to go to, you won't be able to buy. You won't be able to book. And once again, they've sold out in a matter of seconds recently. So it's possible that it sells out before you would be able to log into your wallet. So make sure you do that before the sale starts. That's a very important step, of course. Jared says, big fan here in the Philippines. I appreciate the Philippines has been very popular in the crypto space. A lot of people talking about the Philippines lately. It's nice to see you, and I can't wait to see what you'll make in the sandbox. All right. Then step number 5. This is a step that I recommend to everyone, but I won't recommend this step after 30 minutes on the timer. Okay. If you're going to do this, and you don't have to, don't do this if the timer says less than 30 minutes. I would recommend that if you can clear just your cached data, not clearing your passwords, don't do that. Don't clear, your cookies. You don't need to clear those, but clear temporary data, in your web browser. I knew that was coming. I'm talking too much. I'm not letting myself breathe here. If you clear your temporary data in your web browser, then you'll have the opportunity to see the most relevant real information on your screen, okay? And at the same time, if you want the highest possible internet speed, I would recommend that you turn off and back on your modem and router, if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Hopefully you have a very good, reliable internet service. But doing those steps will increase the speed of your internet by clearing out all that temporary data in your modem router. Um, and then clearing cache data in your browser means that when you're loading something like this, you only see real information because a web browser is designed so that when you refresh this page, if it thinks it already knows what the picture is supposed to be, it will load it instantly from your temporary data. But the picture that it loads may not actually be the real deal. It may not be the real product. Like a person might come and click this clickbook and you're still looking at it and it's still gray. But if you don't have any temporary data behind that, then it may not show that for you. So Voxel Bunny says, living in the USA must be scary if turning everything off and restarting the router is part of the manual for the sale. Well, not necessarily. No, I have a gig service, and it's not so much the internet speed that's the issue. It's the hardware itself, because if you have your hardware on, and I mean, the reason why I bring this up is because we have had sales where things have sold out in 1 second. And so every advantage matters. So I mention it. Hydrate. I didn't bring water with me, Purple Lioness, and my mini fridge is empty currently. I don't have any sodas or anything. Can't hydrate. Can't do it. Voxel Bunny, speed matters a bit, but if you have a lot of temporary data backlogging or a lot of devices that had recently connected, maybe you have a wireless router that's sending things out to 3 cell phones and 4 computers and a TV and your microwave, anything, we're living in an Internet of Things world now, right? So if you can cut out, and I appreciate, I know you're being silly, but this is, I want to make sure that everybody understands kind of why I give out that suggestion as well, because that is a very relevant and real question. All of those other devices that are connected all the time still have a ping, and that one ping sometimes maybe makes a difference. And it's the advantage that you get for watching these live streams. That tip, that little bit that makes it different than that person who's independently sitting at home being excited. Because we've all been there. If you've been to one of these sales before, you get down to those last couple of seconds and you're like, oh, I'm getting excited, I'm getting hyped. So we want to make sure that we make you have the best possible chance to pick up a land today. 1 hour and 1 minute. Once again, I would recommend that if you have any questions about the Sandbox, maybe it's our asset creation software Vox Edit, the game maker software, maybe it's something about the gallery or about the metaverse, the future of the Sandbox, anything else, feel free to ask it here in the chat as we go. And once every 15 minutes or so, I will go over those steps. Voxel Bunny is super excited, wants to hear your questions about Vox Edit, because Voxel Bunny is one of our fantastic art team leads who is approving these assets that are created with these tools, including assets similar to those that will be sold today. So you can see some of these assets right now. If you're interested in the assets that are available, the Walking Dead approved assets that'll be available for this sale, click on any one of the premium lands. Click on the asset. You'll be able to see these assets like Dale's RV. Somebody told me to look under the RV because there was a bunch of Easter eggs, and it looks like there's a lot going on under here. This is some high detail content right there. The artist who created this put every little detail into this RV, top to bottom. Beautiful work. Beautiful. Look at that antenna. I love this. I love this, Winnebago. Well done. Well done. But you can see those assets in high details just by clicking on any one of the premium lands and then clicking on the asset itself. Looks like there's a little bit of a reloading going on here as we get into the first hour, but I'll highlight some more of those as we get closer to the sale. I know, I guarantee that we're working on that back end all the time. They're always trying to optimize, always trying to make that work as well as possible. Kiwi and Coffee made the RV, and they are stunning at making tech stuff. Thank you, Kiwi and Coffee. I recognize the name from our live stream, so if you'd like to interact with Kiwi and Coffee, join us in our live streams here on Wednesdays, on Saturdays, on Mondays, and you may be able to say thank you for that beautiful asset personally. All right, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page. We'll pull in to the Officer Rick Grimes asset. And once again, these assets are based off of the Skybound assets. So Skybound Entertainment creates the Walking Dead comic series. They own the IP itself. So you'll notice that Officer Rick Grimes doesn't look like, maybe if you're familiar with the TV show, doesn't look exactly like that TV show, because partly the likeness of the actor is at play, the likeness as owned by AMC is at play, and then The Walking Dead itself. So this is based on Skybound's comics, and you can see all of the animations for these characters that are lovely. Now, warrior detection, right? If you're in a situation where you've walked up on this character and maybe it's in a defensive position because that's how you want it to work in your game, and it actually kind of looks like he's kind of riding a horse here, but you may see your character get frightened and run away, or get frightened and come attack you. This is the warrior detection animation. You can see the parry shield. So if Officer Grimes was defending themselves as the main character of your story, you may use the shield mechanic. They can be your main character. They can be your opposition. They can be someone that you talk to. You can do all sorts of different things. All right, so let's go on back here. We'll look at the Survivor 1. So Survivor 1 is designed very similarly to, in terms of animation, the way the Officer Rick Grimes works. So if you're not familiar with the Sandbox already, these assets can be used in a large variety of ways inside your experience. All of these primary kind of humanoid style assets that are full standard height are animated with these animations that you see here. And you can see it's a huge series of different animations, and these are constantly expanding. So if you do pick up one of these premium sales today, and you get the Officer Rick Grimes and you get the Survivor 1, you can be assured that those animations that are included may update over time and expand, because they are running on that basic kind of humanoid style template. You've also got Rick's hatchet here. And so this voxel hatchet can be used as an equipment inside your game. This is a rare catalyst with an increase in power through gems that you can put into your assets. But this one in particular already has the catalyst, the gems built in. So if you have your users, whether it be your main characters, something like that, using this equipment inside your game, then they are going to go through with higher power inside your game. And these assets, all these that we're going over, if you are making a game that is The Walking Dead based, these are ERC tokens that can be wrapped inside of your land ERC 721. Okay. And then the Walker 1 asset, one thing to note is that this asset is currently being updated, but I still want to show it to you if I can. So it looks like this one here. I was able to pull it up, but you can see it says no copies available for sale at the moment. So this is going to be updated, but I want you to see what it looks like, kind of some things that are going on. If we're in a combat idle situation, you can see how they are very nicely animated assets. They're very unique assets. These walkers are different than the traditional humanoid. They aren't given those templates. They're given very, very custom templates. And so, oh, okay. Voxel Bunny says, we're done updating it. Good job. You guys are so fast. I saw that there was a message just about 2 a.m. today, my local time, which is about 3 hours ago, saying that we wanted to make a quick update to the template. And I was like, oh, well, hopefully it could be done right before. But it's nice to hear. Thank you for that update, Voxel Bunny. So these are already updated to include the walk that was approved, I believe. But you'll see those assets. This is available once again. And that's, I would consider that, despite the fact that it's listed as the common, I would consider the walkers almost the star of this package of premium assets, because the walkers are quite unique in that way. And if you are a veteran of the Sandbox land sales, the interesting dynamic about all of these assets, these individual intellectual properties, is that you don't have limits with them. You can place them and play with them any way that you want. So if you had those walkers, and maybe and I'm going to return to the full map to show this to you because it's in close proximity. It'll take just a second to load up as I load all those images. But you can see just here to the right that we, a few sales ago, sold something from the Smurfs universe. And there were many premium assets that were sold that included the Smurfs. And there is no limit on your exploration of creativity here. Okay, you can see Baker Smurf was the legendary asset that was available. So if somebody who owns Baker Smurf and the Howley Bird buys a premium The Walking Dead today, you may see walkers invading the Smurfs land in their creation. Any number of things can be done with these. Your creativity is only limited to your imagination. So it's very nice to see assets like that. But yeah, again, it's my personal favorite to like the walkers. You can see this says Walker 1. That implies, and I can confirm, that there will be other walker assets as you go longer in these sales. As we get from wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, in these different areas, there are unique walkers for each sale experience. So I'm really loving the premium assets here on this sale. Of course, the 1x1 lands will be popular. They've been extremely hot over the last couple of weeks. Everybody loves them. And I can't wait to see how quickly these sell out today. Karina Chen Chen says, can't wait to get one of the walkers. I totally agree. Everybody's hype about it. It's one of our most iconic sales I think that we have had so far. And it's super cool. Purple Lioness says, I have Smurfland. What do you think, Purple Lioness? You thinking you're going to have some walkers invading your Smurfs? What do you think about that? I think that's a pretty funny idea. I think it's fun. It's creative. It's different, you know. For those people who are watching our live streams here each and every Wednesday, Saturday, Monday, you may have won a Wizzy the Blue NFT, which are unique NFTs that we give away on live streams like this one. Maybe you have the Wizzy the Blue fighting off the walkers, you know. Maybe you have the walkers fighting off Wizzy the Blues. Whatever you want. Totally up to you to be creative. All right, so let's go over those 5 steps as we are once again 51 minutes away from those land sales here. If you have not already checked, make sure that your balance in the top right of the page, and you can see that in this wallet that I'm showcasing, it has 0.00 sand. So I know that that wouldn't be enough to pick up a land today. If you're looking to pick up land, make sure that your wallet in the top right of your screen shows greater than or equal to 1011 sand in order to get a standard 1x1 land. If you would like the premium lands because you're loving the Walking Dead assets and you want to get yourself a walker, you want to get yourself Rick Grimes, you want to get yourself that RV, all those other assets that are available there, 120 of them will be available for sale today. 4,683 sand you will need in that wallet to get the 1x1 with the additional Walking Dead assets. Beyond that, you can see this rate has changed since I last mentioned this, and this is why it's important. And I'm going to answer your question there, Dago, in just one second here really quickly. Step number 2 is to make sure that you have enough Ethereum in your wallet to make a purchase today. So this number, again, will go up. It will go down as we get closer to the land sale. Currently, the average GUI rate is rated at 95 GUI. And this is a measure of how much ETH you will need to process a transaction in 3 minutes. Okay, a Uniswap swap. Whew. Forgive me. It is super early and I am not breathing well enough. $51.47 right now for an average speed transaction. Now, just a few minutes ago, this was listed at $30. So I would recommend today, based on this volatility of the Ethereum main net, that you have more ETH than you would expect to need in that wallet. The amount is up to you. The amount of gas rate you want to run with is up to you. But the important thing to know is that if you don't have enough speed on your transaction, if you don't have it where the transaction gets processed within 1 hour, your booking would expire and someone else would have a chance to come through and purchase the land today. Hello, how are you doing, Jaya? How are you today? So make sure that you have enough gas inside the same wallet that you have that sand, okay? And make sure that you are logged in on the computer that has that wallet too. That's a super important little secret tip that a lot of people don't really have to think about, but some people do. So I want to bring that up. If I tried to process a transaction right now, personally, this wallet that you see here, this wallet is not the same as the wallet here for me personally, because the wallet that I registered with is on another computer. So I would have to be signed in on that other computer if I wanted to make a purchase here today. And that's important to understand. So make sure that you are signed in with the right wallet, that you are signed in to your wallet. Ooh, excuse me. That you have enough gas, that you have enough sand to process those transactions today. Wesley Evans says, can we buy land on the Polygon network? Not at this time, but I believe that soon you'll be able to. Soon being a little bit relative. I know what we have going on, in the works, but in terms of release date for those expectations, I'm not quite sure just yet. Let's see. Peter Graham asks, can we build our own land that then gets added to the Metaverse map? And the answer to that is yes, you can build your own experience. Yes, if you own a land, that's your right to publish on that space on the Metaverse map. But publishing to the Metaverse is not quite unlocked yet. That feature will be coming soon. Doggo Bits, I mentioned I would read this out. So, as land owners, do we need a creator's account to upload custom assets to the marketplace? Yes, you do. So currently, users' accounts are being updated so that you'll be able to upload custom accounts to the marketplace from Voxel. In a future update, there will also be the ability for you to then mint NFTs from those assets that you have uploaded. But as it stands currently, only artist accounts that are approved for the game, or if you go to fund.sandbox.game, you could apply to be an artist if you're so interested. You can upload your profile and you could start creating content similar to the assets that you're seeing here that can be sold. But as an artist in that extent, you're working on the Sandbox projects and you are being paid in sand to do so. So it's an interesting thing that you can do as an artist there. Some of those artists are also featured in our weekly marketplace sales. So if we go over here, excuse me. Oh man, I apologize. I am yawning all day today. It's crazy. I don't normally do that this much. But you can see some of these assets that are available already for sale, available for sand race, couldn't be purchased right now. And these are created by different artists. If I click on this asset right here, Tomo-san right here has created the Mogurataki, forgive me for butchering that, a whack-a-mole stand. And so this is just a nice arcade game experience. And this is created by someone from the Japanese artist team. And they make some fantastic works. And this would once again be able to be used. It's got a play function. And you'll see the asset work. And they have designed all of this. So in order to be eligible to be an artist there, they went to fund.sandbox.game. They put in their application and they were reviewed. They took a very simple paid test and then they got approved and they're here and they made arts and people have purchased some of their assets and they're already making money in this create to earn ecosystem. Of course, there will later be a play to earn ecosystem, but more details on that will be rolling out soon. Okay, Sahata says, I'm new with this. Any pro tips? That's what we're all about here. I'm going to continue to go over these pro tips multiple times. Jaya said, sand pumped. Why sand pumped? Well, I would like to hope that that is because of fantastic sales like this one, The Walking Dead, one of the most prominent global media IPs Being a partner with the Sandbox here just for this particular sale, people seem to be excited. People seem to be very interested in picking up a land here today, and I am here to help you with that. So let's see. Sahata asks, hey, I'm new with this. Any pro tips? So let's go back through those pro tips. I can see it looks like what looks to be some updates have come through here just now. I'm seeing the timer show to 0. I refresh. It's all good to go now. I click on this. I'm getting the everything is all there. So as we lead up to this sale, you may see small situations like that where it'll say connection lost, retry, that sort of thing. You can wait for it to load if you like. But I would recommend that when the timer hits 0, you do not refresh the page, because this portion of the page will refresh automatically when that timer hits 0. Okay, so that's an important pro tip. One of the other pro tips is, of course, need to know the details of how to prepare to purchase the land. I'm here to tell you that right now. Thanks for leaving that comment. I appreciate you. Step 1 is have enough sand in order to make that purchase. So once again, there are 530 1x1 lands available. If you are on the website at sandbox.game and you click map, the only part of the map that will load, except for that one that says on sale at OpenSea, it's not meant to load here, but that's okay, is the relevant things you can purchase in today's sale. So you can see it here on the left side of that map. If you zoom in, when you click on these tiles right now, they don't present you with a buy button in the bottom right. But after the timer hits 0, this page refreshes, and it will tell you that the 1x1 land will then have a button down here that says it's 1,011 sand. Okay. Then here, the premium estates, or excuse me, the premium lands, so 1x1 lands that include the additional The Walking Dead NFTs, those are available for 4,683 sand. There's just 120 of these here today. Excuse me. And we expect them to sell out quickly. Apologize when I go running on like that. My body wants, it says, Joe, hold in some air, Joe. Breathe, you know? So I apologize if I yawn. It is 5:18 a.m. my local time, but I'm here for you, here to help you get all the pro tips that you can. I'll see you later there, Andy, Richie. I know you're getting ready for this sale. Andy Ritchie creates a lot of great content. You should follow them right there. If you are watching on Twitch, you can click on that username, follow his page. He is streaming regularly, helping people learn how to use the game maker. It's almost each and every day for like months now. Andy is just super hyper dedicated to creating some great content for you to help you learn these tools. So follow them right now if you have a chance. All right. Let's see here. Okay, let's move on here. You have enough sand. If you have enough sand in your account, you'll want to make sure that you have enough Ethereum on the same wallet that you have that sand. Currently, the average gas rate. One of our transactions today will have the same complexity on a smart contract, which means you can give sand knowing that there's no person that you have to make a promise to on the other end. It will automatically pay out, automatically issue your NFTs. That smart contract today is the same complexity as a Uniswap swap, meaning that your average speed transaction right now would cost about $64 to execute. Okay. So if you're looking to pick up the 1x1 land NFT, you've got your 1,011 sand. You'll need to have $64.13 at this moment, $58.53. You can see how this changes second to second in order to process your transaction. It's very important that you understand that when you click on a land and you click the buy button, you're not necessarily guaranteed to get it. After 1 hour, your booking would expire, and there's a very small chance that 2 people click that buy now button in the same tenth of a second. If that happens, then whichever one of you has a faster gas rate will secure the land. But the other person, unfortunately, in that case, and we try to avoid it by having this booking function, but there's a certain degree where you can't really stop that. Like if somebody like, let me think, if Purple Lioness clicks on this land at the same that I do, I live on the Pacific coast of the United States, 8 hours away from Purple Lioness. So our transactions, our clicking may take a long time to get to the servers, right? And by a long time, I mean, let's say 4 milliseconds, but we clicked it in the same millisecond. There's no way for a server to say that I didn't click it and she did in time for each one of us to see that. So if that is the case, then the faster blockchain transaction will win the land or be able to purchase it. So that's an important thing to know. The person who does not successfully purchase that will end up losing the ETH from the gas fee, but that's kind of standard with the way that blockchain transactions work. That's not something that we determine. That's just the nature of the Ethereum blockchain in general. Servers are listed actually all over the world. We have servers in the US, we've got servers in Paris, we've got servers in Argentina, we've got servers in Asia as well. And those all sync up on a content deployment network. So it's important to know that your connection to any one server can be pretty quick, but it's how fast do those content deployment networks interact with each other. And so that's not, again, that's not something that's necessarily, there's no way technologically speaking to optimize that any better without literally having faster than light travel, which, as we all know, is not a thing, because that would be super cool and we'd be going to space. You know what I mean? Purple Lioness says, with my dodgy Wi-Fi, Joseph's going to get that land all day long. Well, you know, we all make our attempts, right? We all make our attempts. Hopefully you'll be able to get a booking and a purchase today if you are interested. But let's go over some of those other steps once again. Step number 3 is to make sure you are logged into the website at sandbox.game. And that may seem like something that's pretty obvious. Maybe you think, I'm already signed in and I can tell. If you're not signed in the top right, you'll see a blue button that says sign in. You'll want to click that. Make sure that you sign in whatever method you typically sign in with. You can sign in with your email. You can sign in with your wallet. You can sign in with the social options, which is a Venly wallet, or you can sign in with a Bitsky wallet. Totally up to you. I like to sign in with my wallet because typically, especially for a sale like this, you want to make sure that your account, this wallet number right here, is the right wallet. It's the one you're on your computer with. If you happen to have a laptop and a desktop, or a mobile and a laptop, something like that, you might have signed up with a different wallet than you're using, and that would mean that your transaction wouldn't work. So make sure that the wallet that you sign in with is the same one that has the address you see on the Me button in the bottom left. Now, once you're sure you're signed in, go to your crypto wallet, whichever one that may be. Those wallets I just mentioned. Maybe it's MetaMask. Maybe it's the Brave browser wallet like I have here, which is a built-in MetaMask. So you want to make sure you're signed into this, because if you go to make a transaction here today, if you're on the map and you think you've done everything right, you click this, you click buy. If there's no wallet unlocked, then the transaction has nowhere to go. And if that happens, then your transaction will time out and someone else can click it and they'll be able to buy it. And you don't want that today, right? You want to make sure that you get the land you want to get or have the best chance of doing so. So make sure you're signed into that wallet, and then you'll be ready to go. With just 34 minutes left, this is the last time that I will leave this last tip. You might want to, if you're comfortable with it, restart your modem and router, because you'll get that extra millisecond, that extra little bit of time. Your connection quality will be stronger. All of those sorts of things will happen when you restart those. But if you know that that takes a long time, You might not want to do that at this point. If you think it's going to take 30 minutes, maybe there's a chance it takes a long time, your internet service provider not super reliable, I would say don't do that at this point. But this will be the last time I even bring that up because we're getting down to that last 30 minutes of the sale here. Hung Tran, I appreciate the comment. We're seeing a lot of great things come out of the Sandbox. You should, if you weren't here for our Saturday event, last Saturday, I believe, I'll have to double check with my brain here. Yes, last Saturday, we did the Game Jam Game Awards ceremony for Game Jam number 5, which was related to our Summer Jam of events, a Summer Jam of land sales. We gave away about $15,000 worth of sand tokens in that event. And we saw a lot of great games come out of that. 16 creations, 5 winners, and we will be doing more game jams as well. So if you'd like to see what the Sandbox can do, what can the game maker tools do, what can VoxEdit do? For VoxEdit, if you want to see some of those animations, you can see some of those right here. Some of those creations, those animations, just click on the premium land, start looking at these assets, look at this high quality content that we have here. And if you like what you're seeing on there, click on the main characters and start looking at some of their animations, and know that you can do any one of these animations. You can create, recreate, adjust these inside the VoxEdit software anytime. And you can see those animated in creations that you make. Let's see if I can find a new one. Let's go with an interact function, right? You've got all sorts of animations, all of these created with the VoxEdit tool. So you can see a whole bunch of good things being created inside the gallery as well, inside the Sandbox Game Maker client. And if you look up Game Jam specifically, or look for those with the Game Jam title, you're going to find a whole bunch of cool stuff that really shows you where the future of the Sandbox is going and where it really already is. All right, so let's go back to that map here really quick. And I want to get some of those. Hope I'm feeling a bit better. Roy, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great right now. I mean, albeit tired, it is 5:28 a.m. my local time, and I've been up since about 1 a.m. getting ready for this sale. Let's see. Masakai says, hi, Joe. Can you change the stream time for Wednesday and Saturday streams to the same as the current time? Because at my region, it would be around 3 to 4 a.m. Possibly we could move around those times, but currently the Wednesday stream is set to what we know to be the highest number of people awake and available in the world. That 1 p.m. time, my local time, is the best time zone for viewership that we know of via our YouTube analytics. And that's not, of course, just for YouTube. That does include our Twitch views and that sort of thing. But we are willing to try out other things. Just want to make sure that they are compliant, I guess. What I would say as a caveat to that, Masakai, is that Alex is usually there for me for those live streams. He's there with me on that Saturday stream, that Wednesday stream. If it was at this time of day, Alex is probably sleeping if I was to have a guess, because Alex tends to work late on projects like the assets that you see here in this sale. Andy Ritchie says, I like rating the Wednesday stream, and we like seeing you rate the Wednesday stream. There's always a nice pile of people comes over from hanging out on Andy Ritchie's streams on those days, on those Wednesdays. All right, I want to make sure I don't miss any other questions. So I want to scroll up. Childhood says, if I failed buying a land, would I get the gas fee back or not? Well, Childhood, unfortunately, with the nature of the blockchain, you wouldn't if the failure happened on the Ethereum blockchain side. But we try to avoid that by having the booking feature. So if it happens that we both click this at the exact same second, and we both click buy at the same millisecond, excuse me, I'm sorry, then you could run into a situation where both of our ETH transactions are trying on the ETH blockchain. If that happens, then you might lose the gas because maybe your transaction happens second. If yours happened first, then I would lose the gas because we both clicked it in the same millisecond. But we try to avoid that by having the booking system at all. So if I click this and I click book and then you click it, you'll see that it had been booked by me, and you won't have a chance to lose ETH, to lose, to the gas fee or any of that. You wouldn't have a chance to attempt to make the purchase because it would already be booked. So that's the system we put in place to help make sure you don't have as much potential for that loss. But it is not perfect because, once again, there is distance between us. There is distance between us and servers, and there's distance between your server and my server even. And they all have to be synced up to this one platform. And when you talk about global sales and a global audience and thousands of people who are very excited to pick this up, there's a chance that that happens. But that's kind of the nature of the Ethereum blockchain. Not a lot that you can necessarily do that. HapJ says, is the map taking a long time to load right now? It should not be. If I refresh it right here, it takes a little bit of time, but keep in mind that what I am showing you is a 1000 megabit per second internet service connection. So it's going to load fast for me. That's pretty normal. But if you were to click on map, the button, you should only be seeing this part of the map load. And it should pull you over to this part of the map where you'll be able to see only relevant information. We designed it that way so that you don't have to load as much, so that it does load faster. DJ Polly Wood says, will the assets for premium land be the same next week? So as it stands right now, my understanding is, and I could be wrong about this, but this is my understanding. The walkers, I've seen different versions of them. I've also seen Glen. Okay, but if you click on market and we scroll down, I can't remember exactly what page it's on now, but let's see if I can. Got Negan, Glen, Negan's Lucille. These are assets that I've noticed just exploring. You can see Officer Rick Grimes. This one is available for sale today, but these additional assets will come up in these land sales. There's 4 different land sales, so I expect that the assets will be at least a little different. I've also seen multiple different walkers, so you can rest assured that there will be some variance from one sale to another. All right. I do need sleep, Master Kai. Forgive me. I do it for you guys. You know what I mean? I'm here specifically for you in the chat. I'm here for Master Kai 93 specifically, so that you can have your best chance of getting land here today. There's about 25 minutes left here in this sale. I'd like to review the assets one more time here, and then I'm going to go over those 5 steps once again. So the Dale's RV is available here in today's event. Super high detail asset, legendary asset. It's got a lot of defense, speed, luck. You can use this asset for any of the different functions that you like, but you can see it is detailed down to the underside of the RV. Very accurately depicted from inside of the Walking Dead universe. Super cool looking asset, really highly defined Winnebago, and I am here for it. I love that the stickers on the back, everything true to content. All right, then you've got the Officer Rick Grimes asset. This asset is a humanoid standard template. That means that when you click on this little section, this is view 3D. If you'd like to look right now, you can look at all the different animations that are compatible with this asset. So if you put it in your game, you could make it the main character. You could make it a character you interact with. You could make it a character you fight beside. You could make it a character you fight against. It's totally up to you what you use Officer Rick Grimes for, but the Rick Grimes asset has assets, the configuration that it is. An interesting thing about assets like this is that as we develop new animations for them and we publish those, this asset will automatically update with those new animations. So if there are new functions that we get for combat, that sort of thing, this will automatically get those. Very cool. Much like the Officer Rick Grimes, the Survivor 1 asset that you see here has all of that pre-canned animation. Animation. Boy, I am so sorry, folks. I'm like, I am apparently exhausted when I'm just talking way too much here. Rick's hatchet is also included. This is an equipment asset, fairly unique in that these equipment assets can be used by your main characters in the games. Okay, so you can use this to give your character a little extra powerful weapon to be able to use. And as I mentioned, in one of those future sales, you may see Lucille come out. We saw that there in there when I was just looking at those assets. And then there is the Walker 1. So this Walker 1, the 1 signifies that there should be others as well. You'll see more walkers come up as these sales continue, but this walker, fully animated with unique animation. These walkers, the idle animation that you see here, these are designed just for the walkers. So you're not going to get these animations anywhere else. And that is why, despite the fact that this is a common asset, the thing that I would note about this is it's super unique, and it is very much not common. The trait common signifies the number of gem slots that are in there. And so the common choice here was meant to show that it only has so much defense, right? But the number of mints, when you look at this at the top, it says 250 minted. Okay, so that's the maximum number of walkers that will ever exist. So it's actually super rare, despite the common attributes. Okay, because the common just signifies the strength, the power it's going to have when it's inside the game. The rarity is defined, of course, by the quantity. So the Officer Rick Grimes has 250 minted as well. And maybe all of those will be distributed before the end of all 4 of these sales. Maybe all of them won't. We'll see what happens here. But let me get some of these questions here answered as I see some more things have come in. Smodler Studios says, wow, this is the most number of people I've seen on YouTube so far. YouTube gang is growing. Welcome to the show, YouTube. Can't wait to see you each and every week. We're here on Wednesdays, on Saturdays, on Mondays as well. Vincente S says, how to book the land. Will it be a book button? Many thanks. Vincente, this portion of the map that you see wiggling around right now, if you were to click on a square, you'll see this kind of pop in from the right side, come open. When the timer hits 0, you don't want to be clicked until after the timer hits 0, but after that timer at the top says 0, you can click on one of these, and at the bottom on the right, there will be a button that tells you how much sand it costs to buy. And then with that sand and with that land, or with that sand and ETH for the transaction, you'll be able to buy the land. Okay, so you can book it as soon as you click this. As soon as you click the sand button that's not there just yet, it'll be there for you. You'll have it booked and you'll have the opportunity to go through and buy it. Jazzwolf says, I know it is usually only premium land that gets NFTs, but does normal land also during these sales because of The Walking Dead? Jazzwolf, no, there will not be additional NFTs that would be given with the standard 1x1 land. And the way that you can always check, when you click on this land, it tells you what will be sold with it. You can see this just simply says land right here. Size 1x1, 1 parcel. If I click on this on sale at OpenSea, you can see it's available, and I can go over here to OpenSea.io. And when this is ready for the auction, this will start. After that timer hits 0, these auctions will start popping up, popping open. But when I click on the yellow ones, you can see the premium land, okay, which signifies that it includes additional assets. And then you can see the assets that are included as well. So if you're looking for that, you can find it right there. So if there was ever a case where we were doing something with different kinds of bundles, maybe it's a premium land that included 5, and maybe there was something that included 1 additional NFT, then when you clicked on it, you'd be able to see the land NFT and the additionals on this page. So totally very clear and easy to see. 1 second. My cat's awake. I can tell. House of Coin. Hey, Sandbox fan. I wish I wasn't so poor from the Summer Jam sales. I would definitely buy today. It's an interesting thing, House of Coin, because I would note that if you don't get a chance to buy today, maybe this land sells out too fast. If it does, keep in mind that it's going to cost the same amount of sand to pick up a one by one land in every sale from now until forever. Okay, so if you already have 1,011 sand and you can't buy a land today, that's okay. Hold on to it. You'll be able to pick it up in the next sale. There will be another sale next week, the week after, the week after that. There will also be sales beyond The Walking Dead. We plan to have sales continue in these small groups throughout now until 2022, 2023, somewhere in that range. Okay. They'll have various sizes, of course, various different events. And I'm going to answer this question here. Slide Knight asks, when does the OpenSea Dutch auction start? Okay, the OpenSea Dutch auction starts just a couple of minutes after the sale kicks off. It goes for 24 hours. Okay, so you'll have an opportunity. If you click on this and you click buy estate, you click agree, it's going to take you out to the external page, whichever one you're looking to possibly place your bid on, to be able to do that. If you'd like to keep up with all of them at once, you can also follow our Twitter page, twitter.com/thesandboxgame. And over there on that page, you'll be able to see all of the individual auctions as we are updating them, as we're seeing new bids come in. We like to tweet about them in thread, so you'll be able to see some updates there. Or you can type Sandbox or Sand, find this, click on auction, and you will see the sales come up here as they unlock. Okay, and I'm going to answer that question. My cousin Ron, you asked two questions. What does a blue square mean? And what does an orange square mean? So the orange or yellow squares that you see here on the screen are premium lands. That means they include not just the one by one land NFT, but the additional The Walking Dead assets as well. The blue squares are lands that are reserved by the Sandbox game so that we can issue rewards and awards to our community of creators. So if you were participating in the last land, we had a giveaway, right? We did a game jam number 4. This is right before the very last one, so I'm kind of backtracking a little bit there, but game jam number 4, we gave away 63 of these lands because we had 63 people participate, and a lot of people made a lot of great games during that competition. Those 63 people were each awarded a land NFT. Just simply for creating a game, for entering themselves into that contest, they ended up winning that land. Others won a whole bunch of sand in that same competition, up to and including, I believe it was nearly $100,000 prize for the main first prize winner. So there's a whole bunch of it. All right. Let's see here. I want to make sure. How many games can we make in one land, Mastakai? One land is one experience. However many layers to that experience you want to make or different things you can do in them is totally up to you. In that Game Jam number 4 competition, we saw a game called, I believe it was Transylvania. It was basically like a carnival situation where there were dozens of different things you could do inside that game. They all served as like little mini games to lead into a main primary quest in this particular example. But that said, once somebody has access to your one by one land, they have access to all of those games and experiences. So there's no way to gate different experiences away from each other and say, you can't play this, you can't play that in my one by one land. But there is, of course, each one by one can be gated to an NFT if you want. It could be gated to somebody having to pay sand to come in if you want. You could have them play totally for free. That's okay too. You know, there's all sorts of different options that you can do with that. Okay. Oh, my cousin Ron says the blocks that I see as gray appear as orange to them. And that may be the case. There is an updated map. Let me see if I return to full map. I'm going to click switch to new version here so that we can see it. I was still on the legacy map because I have been doing this for quite a long time. Now I click map and it went back to the legacy style. So if you are seeing it, if you're on the full map and you click return to new version here, one thing that I would recommend is that you actually just click on the map. If it happens that you see this as orange and I don't, that may be because I have an administrator account and I've got some other features and that sort of thing. But this map, when you just by default click map and you see at the URL at the top says sale-map, this one will load fastest because there's the least amount of things to load when it automatically does refresh. All right. Big Ben says, would have been nice if this was on my payday. Won't be able to buy today. You know, Ben, that's okay. There will be 3 more of these sales over the next 3 weeks. So if you missed out today, you'll have an opportunity coming up soon. September 2nd, September 9th, September 16th. You'll have your chance. You can pick up some land. Just make sure that you get your 1011 sand if you want to have that ready for the sale. It'll always be 1011. If you're looking to get the Walking Dead assets, it'll be 4,683 sand today. Okay, so that'll be the same throughout each one of these sales for the Walking Dead. So if you pick up sand, don't worry, it's never going to go up or down in price in terms of sand. Of course, the value of one sand may go up or down. People who bought sand last week would be very happy to know that they got a discount on their sand, because it happens that right now sand is 76.87, up 30% on a 7-day trend. So if they bought sand last week preparing for this one, or if they bought sand in the last sale, which I believe was 2 weeks ago, well, it was 13% cheaper 2 weeks ago. And those people who maybe missed out on a chance to buy then, if they held on to that sand, happy days. You know what I mean? It's a discount relatively in the US dollar. So that's something important to know, is that if you do have sand and you don't pick up any land today, hold on to the sand. You'll have an opportunity next week on the 9th, on the 16th. There will be sales after this. Lots of different chances to do that. So with just 11 minutes left, I'm going to run over the tips and tricks one more time, and then we'll just have a nice chat. You guys feel free to ask your questions as I'm going over these, and I'm going to address those questions when that sale goes live. Step number 1 is, of course, make sure you have enough sand in your wallet. If your wallet does not show the amount of sand that you expect, either that 1,011 or 4,683, you want to make sure you have enough sand in there. So you're running out of time very quickly with just 10 minutes left here, but you do have a little bit of time to get some sand in there. Oh, Pepin won that Wizzy the Blue NFT. Most of Team YouTube has been rooting for Pepin. Managed to miss that stream. Well, hey, good job, Pepin. Congratulations. You've been around with us for such a long time watching those live streams. It's nice to see a familiar name pick those up, you know? Weeks and weeks, weeks and weeks. All right. Smidjor says, by the way, when will we be able to create our unstates, i.e. combine our adjacent lands? Technically, they already do. You just don't see it on this map here. So that being said, the fact that we know that they already work with adjacency without seeing it here on the map itself makes that kind of a lower priority, because we want to make sure that the features that are in super high demand are done, and that feature functionality wise is done and ready. So essentially it's just going to read, do you own this land and that land that touch each other? Well, now you can make a 2x1 experience if you just had the 2x1, right? Step number 2, really quickly, make sure you have enough Ethereum in your wallet to process this transaction today. Currently, the rate has gone down from about 30 minutes ago. Good news for everyone. The average GUI rate is at 62 right now. Once again, this can go up or down minute to minute, but I recommend that when you process a transaction here today, you do it somewhere in the middle of average to high, maybe high or higher if you're so inclined. If you don't mind the gas rate being that high, that's totally up to you. But the average transaction in this second, you can see I refresh it, it changes, right? That's how rapidly it changes. Today's transaction, if you wanted it to process in 3 minutes, would be about $45.77. Okay. But once again, this can change second to second. It's now 42.68 when I press refresh on my etherscan.io gas tracker. So make sure you have enough ETH in there with your sand. Then, once again, make sure you want to double check this now. There's only 8 minutes left. Click the Me button in the bottom left. Make sure you're still signed into your account. If you're not, excuse me, sign in, because you'll need to be signed in to process a transaction. Now, if once again you're going back on the map, you know you're signed in. Okay, that's cool. Now make sure you're signed into your crypto wallet, because if you're not signed into your crypto wallet, you're not going to be able to send. If you click this and you try to click that buy button, but there's no wallet signed in, the website has no idea where to send this transaction, and your booking will fail, and it'll automatically reopen for someone else to book. So check that. Make sure you're signed into that crypto wallet. Make sure you're on the website. You've got your sand, you've got your ETH, and that will mean you are ready to go. Is there a chance for the Sandbox to move to Solana or Cardano? I don't believe so. As it is right now, we are working with Polygon Matic. We'll just call them Polygon from here on out. Polygon will be a layer 2 solution that will help us avoid any kind of high range gas fees or congestion in the network, that sort of thing. And in terms of functionality, many of our subsystems are a more centralized subsystem for the gaming purposes, for us to handle all like the server business for you. If you were to have an experience that's hosted and you want people to load into that, that data has to be served to people. That's, you know, all taken care of kind of for you. But Smidjor says, is a refresh necessary when sale is open? No. This part of the screen that I am moving right now will refresh automatically when the timer hits 0. If you were to refresh the page, look at how many different things just refreshed, right? It would actually be worse for you because you're making your computer load more stuff when you press refresh manually. If you wait and just let the timer hit 0, this is the only part that will refresh, and it'll happen faster for you, and you increase your chances of getting a land today. All right, let's see. July's Liquidity Award? Yes, the July Liquidity Award, I think, is available at nft.sandbox.game. But let's have a look. I want to make sure. Looks like, yeah, you've got the bonsai tree up here. I think this was the one for July. All you have to do is click on it and click Claim NFT if you're eligible, and you'll be able to get that. The new upcoming, I don't believe has been announced yet. Roygube says, here come the sweats. What do you mean, like pants? In America, we call comfortable pants that you would wear to go to sleep, or maybe go running, sweats. Obviously, that's not what you mean, but I'm having a joke here. All right. Maybe I missed this, but I'm wondering, what is the release date of the Sandbox? So there are multiple different rollouts that we'll be doing. We are going to be having a launch of the Metaverse for multiplayer social interaction, but not competitive multiplayer interaction. This will launch during this September. Okay. And then after that, we'll have a season alpha launch where 1,000 people who own lands will have a chance to get into that launch. You'll get a special NFT that will be awarded to you that will allow you access to multiple different unique experiences that will unlock over the duration of 30 days. So you'll have that exclusive access during that period just simply for entering as a landowner. But again, that's limited to 1,000 people. for a limited test. Once we're sure that that functionality is spectacular and everybody's having a good time, we'll collect those feedbacks. We're rolling out seasonal content as well, and we want to make sure that when we do get that out there, that people are playing to earn while in that alpha season. So those people who do have those tickets will have the unique opportunity to win and earn NFTs and sand, that sort of thing. So it's going to be really cool. But yes, the multiplayer social interactability will launch in September. All right, Roy Goob says it's time to exit the stream for me. Much love for always doing this. I appreciate you, Roy. It'll be nice seeing you. Hopefully I'll see you around soon. How much is premium? 4,683? Yes. Yes, 4,683 for the premium lands today. I expect them to be in super high demand. But once again, if you don't get one today, don't worry. You will have more The Walking Dead sales available with different assets as these weeks continue. So today's assets, of course, unique to this sale. Some of these may pop up. One or two of today's may pop up in another sale in the future. But as it stands right now, as we go from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 to week 4, you know that those packages, excuse me, will be different. They'll have different walkers, different survivors, possibly different equipments, different main characters from the series that you're familiar with. Excuse me. Purple Lioness says, good luck. Thanks, Joseph. Great stream. Bye, Pep and Smobler. Sandboxers, don't forget to like on the way out. Absolutely. You can join us once again. If you aren't joining us each and every Wednesday, feel free. We do giveaways of NFTs for Wizzy the Blue, which is unique to streams like this one on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Mondays. But I'll be here with you guys for the next roughly 15-30 minutes, as long as you all continue to have questions. So after the sale has gone through, let me know if you got a piece of land or if you have a question about the sandbox, you want some more details. I'll be here for you for the next 30 minutes or so. Maybe a little less if all the comments, questions die down early. Then I may head on over to Discord to offer some support to people there or over on our Telegram chat. Go and get a drink. That's a good idea. I'm gonna step away from the chair for a second. Go get that drink really quickly while you all get ready. 1 minute left on this land sale. All right. Do you think land staking will come before or after the social zones are open? Land staking will certainly be after the social spaces are open. The land staking system would require its own layer 2 integrations with Polygon, and that's part of many, many, many different. And you can see the sale is open right now, and these are literally flying off the screen. I'm seeing almost everything fill up almost instantly. The Walking Dead, of course, right around that main plot, booking out quickly. They're booking out so quickly that I can't see them book fast enough. That's fantastic. You love to see it. You love to see sales like this where people are so passionate, so excited about picking up the assets, about picking up the lands, getting these creative juices flowing. I want to see what you guys are doing with these assets as you do get these creations started. And one thing to note, as you're seeing some of these lands kind of speckle, possibly open up, that sort of thing, make sure that when you click on them to potentially book them, that you are waiting if there is, and I can see them kind of coming in and out. But if you see a spinning wheel of loading up here by like the premium text or the individual land text, If it doesn't immediately say book, but it does show like a loading wheel, then don't click that buy button immediately, just on the off chance that somebody else has already clicked it. That has happened in the past, and I'm seeing them kind of speckle in and out once again. But people may be overbooking potentially, and those can unlock. So once again, I would advise that as we get through the next hour here, and I won't be here for that whole hour, but some people who got overly excited might have accidentally booked 2, 3, 4, 5 of these lands, and they won't be able to afford them. They won't have enough sand, maybe. They won't have enough ETH, maybe. Something like that. They can reopen. So watch out for that. Saw $141 in gas. Looks like the current rate. Yeah, 85 Guai right now would be a $52.74 Uniswap swap for that. But if your gas rate is set at a custom rate higher, or set at the high rate, you can see that that number is quite different now. 74.45, that high rate. So if you are setting custom rates, you could see those. Keep in mind that they already are there. Jerome asks, all lands already booked? They pretty much are. But once again, I'm going to say that keep an eye out, because there may be people who look at this and they say, maybe that gas rate was too high for them, right? So you can click on them and you'll get an opportunity to possibly buy, book, that sort of thing. That could come up. Make sure that when you click on them, that you do wait for a potential loading circle. That way you don't accidentally double book that buy. Because if that is the case where you do double book it, then the person who's going to get it would be the first one whose transaction processes on that ETH blockchain. So the lands are booking super fast. You can see all of them being purple. They're essentially gone. But again, some people may cancel those transactions. So be on the lookout. And that's why you're seeing some of this kind of speckling in and out there, because people might see that gas fee and get surprised by it. Maybe they don't have enough ETH in their wallet, something like that. And they'll cancel those transactions. But let's see. My cousin Ron says, I just got bumped off the map page. I apologize for that. I'm not familiar with that happening. You could see here as it is. That might have happened if you manually refreshed. You want to make sure that you do not refresh this page manually, because it will refresh the center part all on its own. Let's see. Pepin says, I didn't even get the NFTs. Sag. Loy, 3 failed transactions. Elvira or Elira saying 3 failed as well. And once again, this can happen. You saw how quickly that they filled up. This unfortunately is a side effect of running transactions like this on the blockchain, frankly, because the users who are doing it fastest are getting them, with those high gas rates and that sort of stuff. And you can see the issue with, when I refresh this page right here, that I'm seeing an issue with my cache data thinking that it already knew what was on the screen. And this can happen to you as well if you're running into this situation where you're seeing some of these kind of stay the wrong color. Like in this case, if I click on this gray tile right here, it's going to say booked. It's going to say booked, right? It's going to say booked, because my computer, if I manually refresh, it's thinking that it knows what's best. But the reality is that, these are already booked. So that can also be an issue. If you never cleared your cache or temporary data in your browser before you started this sale here today, and I give out that advice a couple of different times before each one of these sales, you'll have to make sure that you do that in order to increase your chances just a little bit there. There's definitely not an issue in the contract, Loy. It's a matter of, like, I don't know, I can't recall exactly where you live, but I live on the Pacific coast of the United States, right? So me and my content development or deployment network server are going to have to communicate with yours. And when you see a sale sell out in a second, 3 seconds, like this one has, right? You run into this situation where both of us could click on this at the same time. If you compound that with the issue that you can see readily happening on my screen right now, where my computer thinks that it knows what this already is, right? It thinks it already knows it's supposed to be a gray color, so it's not even trying to reload it to get the new bookings because it's not seeing that data, you know. It's thinking, oh, I already know what color this is, right? That's what cache and temporary data can do. So when you click on this, if you didn't wait for that loading circle and you just click buy, then maybe you're double booking with somebody who already did it. So if I had tried that right there, I know this has already been booked by someone else. So you may end up with a failed transaction in that way. All of them I got say error sale end. Chuggers says the issue was this format. I'm with you. We are working on currently and have been bug testing it on the back end a queue system proper. But let's see. All right. So I'm seeing a lot of different. Okay. Roy Gibbs says, you know me. There's no way I clicked at the exact same time on 8 lands. Direct, our marketing director, is here in the chat, says hi all. So let's see if we can get an update on that. I'm going to check and see if we do have a situation, something kind of funky, silly going on here. We will pause the sale momentarily. There is a problem with the contract. I apologize, folks. So if you are having an issue where you have a failed transaction, could you please, at this time, make sure, of course, you don't process a transaction, but can you take the etherscan.io transaction that you got? It'll be inside your wallet. Let me see if I can show you an example of what one looks like right here really quickly. Okay. So if I click on this, oh, I did that too fast. So if you go into your wallet and you click on your ETH balance here, and you click on something that you have made transaction, click on this arrow that says view on Etherscan and link us to your Etherscan transactions that are relevant to this sale, please, over on our Discord in the support channel. We want to make sure that we get this taken care of for you because we want to, let's see, let me see if I can get you the exact right channel. If you're not familiar with already our Discord channel, then I will put the link in the chat right now. And I am going to, in this particular case, make sure that I get the support out there on Discord to help you guys. So what I'd like to do is I have put the link to our Discord in the chat. And if you could go over there, if you have a failed transaction, in the hashtag support in the Sandbox General, paste your Etherscan proofs so that we can get those gas refunds to you. This is in the hashtag support, and put all of the relevant links to your transactions so it's nice and easy and provable for us, and we will get those taken care of as well as we can. We may follow up with this with a form of some kind to make it easy for us to put them all in one place, but at this time, just if this is a very short, we will be resuming the sale soon. Hashtag support. Ross Nelson says, I only saw premium land. Where are the 1x1s? So we issued an update, Ross, this week. There are lots of 1x1s on there. They might be orange color, where premium lands are yellow for you. If you're using the new version of the map, they would be orange. Yes, touche. If you're having an issue with a purchase right now, please put your etherscan.io transaction in the hashtag support channel. We want to make sure that we get those taken care of for you. Land sale will resume in 1 hour. We will refund all gas, and we're going to give long-term instructions here in just a bit. But for now, I'm going to go get support over on our Discord channel and on our Telegram channel to help you guys out as much as possible, because we've got tens and tens of thousands of people on there. And so we want to take care of you there. And I will see you over on those channels. Just the Just the Etherscan transaction link will do fine, please. It'll just be easy enough for us to look at that, verify that it is one of our transactions, and that it happened in this time block. All right, I'll see you over there.